Welcome back to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Emily Bernstein. A boxing match for the ages is coming to Glendale at the end of October when 47-year-old Anderson Silva takes on 25-year-old Jake Paul. Cronkite News reporter Jacob Flores was on hand when the two met up yesterday for the pre-fight press conference.
Arizona has become a hotbed for combat sports over the past few years, with consistent visits from Bellator MMA, the UFC, and now a high-profile boxing match on its hands. Instead of Las Vegas, New York, or Los Angeles, the Jake Paul-Anderson Silva fight will take place at Gila River Arena in Glendale.
There's a huge fight community here, a huge MMA community here that will come out to support Anderson, and my fans are in different areas, right? I have a digital fan base.
Open the mind for people and the companies and producer make something in this city, and it's so special. I'm so happy to help to bring a good and special show for the city.
While most fighters spend their time leading up to the match trash-talking each other, Paul and Silva have a mutual respect, but that doesn't make it any less interesting.
This could be a changing of the guard, or you could win and, silence the kid that everyone wants to be silenced. So I do think this is iconic in that sense, and you're a legend, bro, and you're good as
Paul versus Silva is just the third pay-per-view boxing match held in Arizona over the last 2 years. This highly anticipated match is scheduled for 8 rounds in what should be a great night for the fans and the Grand Canyon State. In Glendale, Jacob Flores, Cronkite News.
Bill Richardson, former ambassador to the United Nations, is in Moscow this week to negotiate the release of WNBA star Britney Griner and security executive Paul Whelan. Richardson has a history of making and working with hostage negotiations. He told the Associated Press last month a prisoner swap would need to be proportional, 2 for 2. Griner was sentenced to 9 years in a Russian prison for drug possession. She missed the Mercury season this year due to her detention. Tim Kempton, Phoenix Suns radio color commentator, was hopeful the visit would help.
I hope it gets done soon. I hope that the other Americans that are being held in Europe, in Russia, come home as well. Hopefully the star of Britney Griner gets them all home together.
The University of Arizona hosted Mississippi State for their home opener this past Saturday and fell to the Bulldogs 39-17. However, as Cronkite News reporter Marley-Zana Thompson tells us, the Wildcats were able to compete against an SEC team and are feeling good about the season.
The Wildcats hosted the Bulldogs for their home opener, and there were highs and lows, but overall, head coach Jed Fish has faith in his team.
I think every single day you see our football team improve, and as long as we can keep doing that, we'll be okay.
More than 46,000 fans filled the Arizona Stadium. They were loud, rowdy, and made their presence known throughout the game.
It was packed really all the way through. We made a couple huge stops on 3rd and 4th down because of the student section. They were awesome tonight. We need them to keep fighting with us. And as we build this stadium into being a packed house, we'll continue to improve and play better.
The fans made the Bulldogs panic at times, and when the Wildcats needed some motivation, they were there for their team.
On defense, the crowd got loud and they were trying to communicate, and they couldn't hear each other, so they had to call a timeout. So it's definitely an advantage.
Although the Wildcats were unable to secure their second win, their spirits were high.
Our locker room was very encouraging, I know guys were reiterating, we got 10 more games, and I think we don't need to, dwell on this loss. All we got to do is just play it, week by week.
The Wildcats failed to start the season 2-0. However, you would not have been able to tell based on the environment here at Arizona Stadium, and Coach Fish recognizes there are a lot of positives to take away from this game.
As we say all the time, right? Our culture is strong because of the young guys that came in and because of the older guys that stayed. And we're just continuing to get started here. I believe that we're going to have great nights ahead.
In Tucson, Marley-Zana Thompson, Cronkite News.
ASU is still looking for its identity on the football field after last week's loss to 11th-ranked Oklahoma State. The team is looking to build on the positives from that game and get some momentum moving forward. ASU is still welcoming in 43 new players to their roster, which means the team is still learning how to play with each other. Offensive coordinator Glenn Thomas is taking note of the fact and using last week's loss as a stepping stone toward building chemistry on offense.
As you take a step back and you talk about particularly the newness of our team, particularly on offense, it was encouraging to see the mentality, the makeup, the focus that maintained throughout the game. So, that's all things that we've talked about, we've addressed, and hopefully we can see improvement this weekend.
ASU will host Eastern Michigan on Saturday. Kickoff is at 8 p.m. That's it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Ryan.